Hi, I'm Mary Ann Furno, the Director of Engineering for Broadcom. I lead our cybersecurity and compliance engineering teams. We are here today in New York City to talk about an important boardroom topic, and Ravi's going to join me.
Thanks, Mary Ann. Cyber resilience is a very important topic, but before we begin, why did we decide to do this in the winter?
Practice our own resilience?
Okay.
Maybe we should move indoors, though.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Today we're going to talk about a different topic, another one that is very important to the boardroom, and that is on cyber resilience.
Yes, it's easy to get lost in the sea of buzzwords and hype technologies that are out there. We have blockchain, quantum computing, the metaverse, and the industry has created this unsettling feeling that if you aren't adopting these technologies, you're getting left behind. We've been sold the promise of personalized medicine, for example, the idea of having drugs tailored just to you. Or who could forget the Segway, which is going to revolutionize personal mobility. But when you look at all of these buzzwords and technologies, there is reality within them. And you mentioned the word cyber resilience. That's very real, and it's here in the present.
Exactly. So some of these are fleeting buzzwords that come and go. Some of them are, we've set the stage to build deep roots and be very impactful in the future. But as you mentioned, cyber resilience really has an impact on today's revenue.
Yes, it's the bottom line, brand reputation, the strategy of a company.
Exactly. Ravi, as we walk around New York City today, it's really hard not to focus on resilience. I mean, all this going on around us, financial transactions, life, lights, window cleaners, everybody's in the works today. And it's a good reminder for us on the need for resilience, because without it, all of that would come to a screeching halt. Security plays a key role in resilience, as we know. So we take a look at a couple stats on how important security is. ITIC did a survey, and 84% of respondent organizations indicated that their unplanned outages were due to security incidents. Of that, 67% cited human error as a factor in there. So if we keep progressing these, at some point in time, there's responsibility for these. We saw a CEO of a bank who resigned after an extended outage on their mainframe systems. And Gartner shows that the importance is ramping up, and individual personal liability will come for incidents. We also see this in the SEC's ruling that came out in 2023, which gives investors insight into organizations so that they can see their governance and their security plans and make informed decisions for themselves, so the data points are a bit more transparent. And even with the SEC's ruling, it went on the same path as Gartner predictions to say that individuals may be held responsible. Now, that didn't make it into the final cut, but all of this goes to show the importance and the focus that security plays, because resilience is a key piece in our digital world today.
Yeah, the comment you made about human error being a leading cause of security breaches really struck a chord with me. It may seem like bad news, but the good news is we can do something about it. So we're going to cover that a little bit later, but you referenced the SEC. I have a bit of a dark comedy here, a true story that happened late last year. So the SEC did pass a resolution that had two components to it. The first is, if you're a publicly traded company, you have to discuss your security posture in your annual report. And second, and this is the key piece of this, if you experience a material security breach, you have to notify the SEC within 4 days. So that regulation is now in effect, and the cyber gangs knew that this was going to happen. So a company called Meridian Link was actually attacked by a ransomware gang. The cyber gang waited 4 days and noticed that Meridian Link did not notify the SEC. So guess what happened? They wrote a letter to the SEC saying, hey, we attacked Meridian Link. They didn't let you know. We are letting you know. So a situation here that if you're not self-reporting to the SEC, the bad guys are willing to rat you out.
Yes.
You mentioned your love of New York City. I can see Madison Square Garden and the Freedom Tower right behind you through the window. So as we think about the topic of cyber resilience, let's make it relatable to everyone and compare it with the Statue of Liberty.
Ooh, that's a good one. She is really resilient. So I could think of a couple things about her. She's down there at the end of the island in the harbor. She has sun on her, she's got wind on her, sometimes hurricane strength winds. And so there are elements of her that were deliberately planned out for her to withstand the environment that she lives in. She has a visor protecting her from the sun, giving her clear vision. She's got a crown that can actually sway 3 inches in different directions to account for the winds. And many folks look at her outer structure, her skin, as giving her the stability, but that's actually not what makes her so resilient. And if we peek under her robe, no judgment, because 4.4 million visitors a year do that, you can see that there's a solid infrastructure there giving her that resilience through all of these different variations of weather.
So careful, thoughtful planning and engineering.
Exactly.
The Statue of Liberty is a harbor lady indeed. Let's come back to our harbors here in the digital world. What enables us to have clear vision? What enables us to weather the winds? And no matter what skin our users are interacting with, have we planned for our infrastructure to offer reliability, scalability, and security?
Yeah, that's the hard part, because resilience isn't about reacting, it's about planning and being proactive to mitigate some of these items, especially in the security realm. And to do that, the job gets tougher, because that means collaboration between different stakeholders in the organization, clear communication, and setting a plan in place so that we can be proactive versus having a reactive approach to incidents.
So cyber resilience is about weathering the storm and functioning at a high level despite the attacks that are happening in real time.
Exactly.
Resilience on the mainframe is a very deliberate job. Here are some mainframe stats that show the mainframe can give Lady Liberty a run for her money. So first, it's a highly reliable machine, offering just 31 milliseconds of downtime per year. Today's mainframe, and the latest, the IBM Z16, helps to secure over 90% of the world's credit card transactions. And here's my favorite stat of all. A single Z16 machine can process 1 trillion transactions per day. That far exceeds the number of Google searches, which is in the billions per day.
And definitely gives Lady Liberty a run for her money with the transactions she sees in people per day. Yes. So ensuring cyber resiliency for the financial powerhouses of the world, retail, airlines, government agencies that rely on mainframe is a tremendous responsibility. And as our digital dependence continues to grow, that responsibility continues to grow. The mainframe has been lockstep with the needs of cyber resilience and security, carrying organizations through, so much so that most of us don't even realize that a mainframe is behind our everyday activities.
Mary Ann, our customers are successful in the area of cyber resiliency. Can you outline their approach for cyber resiliency on the mainframe?
They look at it in 3 parts. The first is they set a nice vision for themselves so they know where they're heading and everyone can follow that path. The second is they build on good infrastructure. And the third is they establish themselves so that they are maintaining and they can be adaptable to the future. You work with customers on strategy every day. Do you want to start with the vision piece?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Having a clearly defined vision is critical given the complexity of the hybrid IT environment. So companies need to begin with a governance plan, a plan that embraces the idea of continuous improvement and prioritizes the most critical areas of the infrastructure to secure first. The vision should also address threat modeling, because we know the nature of cyber attacks are changing given generative AI is at our doorstep. And finally, the vision should also lay out how regulatory and compliance demands are going to be met.
Exactly. Ravi, implementing that vision on the mainframe is a natural fit. So let's look at point number 2 in our outline, and that is building on a solid foundation. We get the benefit of building on the mainframe, which has a solid architecture, and the z/OS operating system, which is full of integrity and resilience points itself. So that takes us to the third point, and that is maintaining what we have today and adapting for the future. So we want to look at 3 things. One is dealing with the day-to-day and what we know today. The second is preparing for the future. And the fourth is planning for the things that we don't know. So we know what's in our day-to-day, we know what's in short horizon, and then getting for the future, which we don't know. The layered security model following Zero Trust really sets us up for success in these areas. So we have our vision, we have a solid architecture, we're ready to maintain and adapt. Where should we go next?
Well, you mentioned Zero Trust. Zero Trust is alive and well on the mainframe, and it's all about invoking those layers of security to protect your enterprise. So I'll begin with step one. It's simple, it's obvious, but so critical, and that is maintaining currency with software maintenance. Apply those software patches and take advantage of your entire network of vendors and their efforts around the clock to keep their software secure. So you want to have a culture of applying maintenance as quickly as possible. Next, you want to maintain or deepen the trust of the identities of the people on your network. So multi-factor authentication is something critical to implement. You also want to take a close look at your privileged users, monitor them, and assign privileges according to the principle of least privilege. You want to surround all of this with continuous monitoring, so you know what is happening with your mainframe in real time, and so that you can also generate auditing reports for compliance. So when you bring all of these pieces together, you have what you need to not only satisfy compliance and audit, but also continuously improve. But there's one masterstroke in all of this. We hear about ransomware every day in the news. That's looking at your backups and implementing immutable storage, so that if an attacker actually gets in past several layers, they can't go into your network and encrypt your data.
So in the space of security relative to cyber resilience, our intent is to be proactive, but we also want to plan in case the worst happens.
That's right.
So Broadcom is here to partner with you to help you achieve your cyber resiliency goals on the mainframe. Call your Broadcom account rep to schedule a call or a workshop. We're here to partner with you to enable your success.